So starting with a high-ranking North Korean military officer's defection to South Korea last year, there's been a series of such cases. A mass defection by overseas restaurant workers, diplomats, and even an accomplished young mathematician. Now, do these signal a regime instability in North Korea? Our Oh Jung-hee takes a closer look.
Tougher sanctions on North Korea after its fourth nuclear test earlier this year appear to be having an effect on the communist state. North Korean citizens continue to defect to the south despite tightened controls at the North Korea-China border. In the late 2000s, North Korea saw between 2,500 and 2,900 of its citizens per year flee the regime to live in the south. Since Kim Jong-un assumed power in 2012, that number has dropped to around 1,300 to 1,500 a year. But what's noteworthy is that among those who have recently escaped, more of them have been relatively well-to-do. Since last year, North Korean defectors have included a high-level military intelligence officer, diplomats, overseas workers, and most recently, a young man visiting Hong Kong to take part in an international math competition. An expert on North Korea says this cannot be interpreted as clear proof of instability in the regime or its imminent collapse. However, he stresses that North Korean citizens now face a greater burden than before in terms of their livelihoods and quality of life.
International sanctions against North Korea have become much tougher since the start of Kim Jong-un's reign, and that has put some pressure on those working overseas, like diplomats and laborers. The regime expects them to earn the same amount of foreign currency as before, which is nearly impossible because of the sanctions.
The expert doesn't foresee a major change in the status quo, that is, how the North rules its people and how the people react to it.
Kim Jong-un's regime will further oppress its people by intensifying ideological education or control over the families defectors leave behind. But defections will continue if the North doesn't improve its economic and political situation.
Oh Jung-hee, Arirang News.